Hello and welcome. This is Political Science Semester 2 for first year BA LLB students. I'm starting with Module 1, 1.1 State and Sovereignty in Political Theory. We are doing the first module, 1.1, the concept of the state, meaning and definition. The concept of the state, what is a state, is fundamental in political science, as it refers to a political organization with a centralized government that has the authority to govern specific territory and population. So let's underline the keywords. Basically, state is a concept. The idea of a state is a concept. So when we say that India is a state, it means it has a specific territory and a population and a government. It could be centralized government or a quasi federal government. That is, the control is distributed between the state, that is the center, and the states. States in this sense are Maharashtra state or any other states. So there is also a government in a state. This concept of the state is made by government, territory, population, and political organization. So when all these four things come together, and there is also sovereignty, that is absolute freedom to govern the internal affairs of a country. So this is a concept and it is very fundamental in political science. Now this centralized government has full authority to govern its population, that is, make, create laws and implement, enforce those laws without any external influence. Now, once we understood what the state means, what is the concept, what is the idea of a state, let's look at the meaning of the state. The state is a political entity. We will also understand what politics means, what is political also later on in the video. So state is a political entity that represents the organized political community under a government. So when there is a government or a government represents, government is a political entity, it is an organized political community, and the state is represented through this political organization or political entity that we call government. It exercises sovereignty. Sovereignty does not lie with a government, it is with the state. The sovereignty is always with the state. A state is always sovereign. Government is a representative of the state. You can say that government is an agent of the state. The state exercises sovereignty. It has sovereignty in it, meaning it has ultimate power, absolute power, full power to make, to create, and to enforce, enable laws within its territory. And it is recognized both internally by its citizens and externally by other states. So when we say that it is recognized, what is recognized is the sovereignty of the state. Now who is going to recognize the sovereignty of the state? It is its citizens, its people will recognize the absolute power, ultimate power of the government to control its citizens, to control its population, to control its people. The citizens themselves have elected the government which will then again govern these people. The people who have elected the government will govern the people, the population. Not only the citizens recognize this power of the government, but externally also other countries, other states. In this sense, the state is not the states that we know like Maharashtra, Goa, and so on, but here the meaning of the state is it is country. So, state is a political entity, state is a concept that represents the organized political community under a government. It exercises, the state exercises sovereignty, meaning it has ultimate power to make and enforce laws within its territory, and it is recognized by both internally by its citizens and externally by other states. Let's go on with the actual meaning of the word state. What does the word state mean? The word state refers to an organized political community living under a government. It is a structured form of society with laws, leadership, and authority over a defined area. So the key word here is that a state is a structured form of society with laws. There are laws in the society, and those laws are structured, meaning they are organized. It is enforceable. There is a leadership, that is the government, and authority, that is the state, the government has the authority over a definite area, geographical area. So in general terms, a state is a system that has the power first to make laws, then to enforce that laws, that is implement those laws, then protect the rights of its people and conduct relations externally with other states. Alright, next is the origin. Where did this word state come from? What is the actual meaning of the word state, not what a state is. We are now discussing about the word state. The word state comes from the Latin word status or statum, which means condition, position, or standing. So the key word here is a position. That is, when we say a state, it means there is a position to it, there is a standing, there is an authority to it. During the Middle Ages, the Latin phrase status re publicae, meaning the condition of public affairs, was commonly used. Over time, this was shortened simply to state as a way to describe the organization of power and governance. The term gained its modern political meaning in the 15th and 16th centuries, especially with thinkers like Niccolo Machiavelli, who used the Italian word lo Stato in his famous political treatise, The Prince, to describe a governing authority or country. So a state, here the keyword is state, means a governing authority or a country. So in simple words or in simple terms, state is a political body or a country with government, laws and territory. Its origin came from the Latin status, meaning condition or standing. Here the word standing means having authority, power. some kind of social power, some kind of social status. So, what are the key elements of a state? A proper understanding of the state involves recognizing its essential components. Now, what are the essential components? These are four of them. Population, basically a group of people living within the state. So we can say, when we say a group of people, it means it's a society. Territory, a clearly defined geographical area, a definite territory, boundary of a country. Third is government. It's an institution or set of institutions, multiple institutions, like we have the three main branches of the government, which are legislative, executive, and judicial. So government is an institution or set of institutions that create and enforce laws. So the legislative creates laws and it is enforced by the executive. Sovereignty. Fourth, sovereignty is the supreme absolute power or authority within the territory, free from any and all external control. This is what is the key elements of a state. Let us look at few definitions by scholars. Aristotle defined state as a union of families and villages having for its end a perfect and self-sufficing life. Since this was the early ages of definition, it was more bent towards the families and villages. Max Weber. A state is a human community. Again, it's made up of human community. Families and villages is also a community. So here also it is, a state is a human community that claims the monopoly of the legitimate use of physical force within a given territory, which means that this community has, when group of people come together to form a community, there they can also exact a monopoly or use of physical force which is legitimate, which is legal within a given territory. This is very near to our modern definition. Woodrow Wilson. The state is a people organized for law within a definite territory. So again we see population, organization, which is a government, then definite territory. So these are the four basic elements of a state. And J.W. Gardner, the state is a community of persons more or less numerous, permanently occupying a definite portion of territory, independent or nearly so of external control, and possessing an organized government to which the great body of inhabitants render habitual obedience. So let's conclude this video by looking at the conclusion. So state is the most powerful, having absolute authority or control, and a state is also organized form of human association. It is crucial for governance, law, order, and social cohesion. Its core features are four: population, territory, government, and sovereignty. These core features define its structure and its purpose. Understanding the concept of the state lays the foundation for exploring politics, governance and international relations. Thank you very much. Next video would be 1.1.2 State as a community of persons.